I've been doing this like series almost that it's turned out to be of these like steps of how to create your life. I didn't mean to. I was just recording videos and they kind of coincided and kind of went in what seems to be like sequential order to the process. Um, and like I said, I didn't really realize I was doing it. But I feel like this has been the process when I talk about energetically creating my life. This is what I'm talking about. And just to recap, in case you haven't watched them, which is likely, the first step is you will never rise above the identity that you believe about yourself. We cannot. We cannot, as human beings and as whatever, as we create our moments and our days and our lives, which we're doing regardless of whether we're aware of it or not. You are quite literally right now creating your next moment and day and next part of your life, which is why it's so important to be aware of it and intentional with it. Otherwise, we end up experiencing and re-experiencing things that we don't want to, right? But a lot of that energetic work of building my life energetically first is a lot of this like inner work type undoing stuff. Like it all coincides together. Meaning I've been doing a lot of like inner child type work, meditations, going back to like identify things and feel stuck energy and stuck emotions that have been suppressed within me physically, because it remains in the body. The body holds it. It doesn't just keep the score energetically. The constriction that rises up and constricts around something, some event, some wound, some traumatic thing, the trauma is actually the body constricting against it and holding it there, and it remains stuck. And that's how dis-ease happens in the body, with either just long-term of that or a lot of that or both. But the first step is to identify what you believe about yourself. Like Joe Dispenza says, think about what you think about, but think about what you think about yourself. And the difficult part about this step is that most of those beliefs about what you believe about yourself, like actually, because intellectually you could be like, well, I believe this, I believe this, I believe this. Most of your true beliefs about yourself are subconscious. A lot of them are pre-language, so they're pre-memory, but they still live in your body. And a lot of them are pre your existence, I believe, because it's the cellular structure of your DNA that you inherited from your ancestors. That stuff carries through too. So step one is a big step. It's a big step. I feel like I've been in that process of identifying in order to undo those for decades. So, don't rush through the process, because it's not an intellectual process. It's a feeling process. And if it were easy for us to feel, the energy and the emotions would not have gotten stuck there in the first place. So it's a whole process. Maybe I'll make a video more in depth on how to do that again. The second part of this process of creating your life intentionally is that you will not be able to create anything for yourself that you do not have the capacity to hold in your nervous system, in your body, in your mind, in your heart. It could be something physical, something emotional. It could be whatever it is. So first you have to change your identity so that you believe that you deserve the thing. Second, you have to tend to yourself and create a safe space in order that your capacity can grow, that expansiveness of you as you soften and you're able to receive more and hold more. is what opens you up to hold more capacity. And that's kind of the steps of the undoing. And I look at it as like a bar graph of like the negative side, and you get to the 0, 0, and then you go to the positive side. And so after that, you're kind of in a neutral point, and that's what seems to be like the undoing process of it. And then you could start playing with it and imagining up the new things. And sometimes these things kind of happen in parallel, but it's really difficult for things to actually move on the creating side intentionally until we have corrected the things that we believe about ourselves and our identity. And it's not about creating a new identity, it's about undoing the lies and the agreements that we've made to identities that were never ours in the first place. So once you get to the neutral point and you want to start creating from there, because if you don't undo the false identities, the false narratives about you, you'll sabotage it. If you don't have the capacity to hold it, you will sabotage it. And you'll be like, damn, why can't I just do this? This is what I want. This is the job that I want. This is the relationship that I want. This is the dream that I want. This is the and like we're like, why can't? And then we get mad at ourselves, and it's like physiologically, you cannot hold it, and your subconscious, your body, whatever, will work to keep you alive because it believes that it's too much for you to hold. You know what I mean? But when you get to the 0 point and you're going to start creating your life, the first step on that side is you have to believe that it exists. You have to believe the thing that you desire, that you long for, that you want to experience, that it exists, first of all. And then the half step to that was you have to believe that it can exist for you specifically. So that was step 3 and 3.5. And then step 4 was you have to believe that it is likely for you to experience that which you desire to create. It's likely. It's not just possible. There's a good chance that this could happen. And I would say step 5, which is a lot of where I am in this process, is you have this knowing that this is already yours. And not in a affirmation type of way of like, I'm just gonna fake it till I make it, like I'm manifesting this. Not any of that. Like this looks like delusion to the outside world, and that's okay. We're not worried about them. You have to have this inner knowing, like probably more than you know anything else that you know in your life, of this life, this dream, this experience that I want to experience is mine, and it cannot miss me. No matter what I do, I cannot not experience this, even if I wanted to. This life, this experience, this thing is my birthright. And I will experience this thing. And not in a way of like forcing it or like convincing yourself, but like you just know that this is your reality, and it already actually, quantum physics? Already exists somewhere in time and space, because time is not linear how we think it is. And so it's actually already happening. And I just need to align with it. I know that sounds really woo-woo, but listen to like the science of it. And I'm not a science person, so I'm not trying to not sound woo-woo. I'm just saying that this isn't, I love woo-woo shit, but this isn't that. This is actually reality of Think about the life that you're living now, okay? Maybe you're a parent. Maybe you have a specific career. Maybe you have a specific relationship. Think about you 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and whether or not you intentionally brought yourself to this point in your life and this experience. Okay? So you're kind of working backwards. Think about the life that you want to create, and it already exists just like this moment does. And work your way backwards from there. Like, pull yourself in from that future reality. You can talk to a future version of yourself. You can do it through meditation. You can do it through journaling. You can do it through dream work, meaning in your dreams, set the intention. You can. Like, I don't know, maybe it sounds crazy, but like, I just feel like that makes so much sense to me, because we're spiritual beings. You know what I mean? Like, we're here on earth, and we're human beings, and we're having this human experience. Yes, of course, it's lovely, it's beautiful, we love it here. This is why we came here, to fully immerse ourselves in this experience. But you cannot separate yourself from the fact of the reality that, how did we get here in the first place? Through a woman, through a womb space, through a portal of a woman. The unseen spiritual thing, an entire soul, was somehow implanted into a cluster of cells that kept multiplying and multiplying and multiplying again. And this fetus existed. And I believe God touched the heart and said, let there be life. And somewhere along the lines of that, the heartbeat started beating, and the soul entered into this developing cluster of cells, into a baby, into a human being. Like, what? You came from, I don't even know where. You came from nowhere to here. And when we're done here, our bodies stay here on this earth and we continue on. That is just what it is. So it cannot be too far-fetched that we exist in different time and space, in parallel realities, and that you can communicate with yourself in a different time and space. Just a suggestion. You might want to try it. But I believe you can call out to a future version of yourself in that life that you want to experience and say, hey, help me. How do I get from there, from here to there? How? I don't see it. I need help. I need your guidance. And be open to listening. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. I guess that's step 5. Is relate with the life that you are actively creating, and know that it already exists. Know that it already exists. And again, I'm not saying it in a way where like you're affirming yourself and you're speaking these things over yourself and you're like you're convincing yourself. No, like, you don't have to convince yourself that your reality right now exists. Neither do you have to convince yourself that that version of you that is fully alive, might I add, which is also not just the purpose of us being alive here, but I believe God's greatest glory is our hearts fully alive. Like, when you rise up to show up for yourself and choose your life in your greatest timeline, let me tell you, the entire universe will rise up around you to conspire in your favor. Because that's how it works. And that's exactly how it works. And it's not going to be immediate. And it might get harder before it gets better or easier. You might encounter way more challenges and tests, or whatever you want to call them, to make sure that you're really about this life, to make sure that you're really about doing whatever it takes. Because the undoing of the identity includes things like, actually, I'm not going to people please anymore. And as much as that hurts me, I'm going to choose myself. And that's part of undoing of the identity. But that is also the alchemy that it takes to prove to yourself in your whole life that you can be trusted with this new version of you and this new part of your life. You have been faithful over little, I will give you much. You have to be trusted in the small ways that most people don't see. Most people live their lives in a way where most of their life is hidden from people. And that's fine. You don't have to be out there putting your life out there. But also, it lets us kind of skate by with a lack of accountability, even to ourselves. Of, well, nobody's calling me out on this shit, so why would I change any of it? I'm fine. I'm complacent. Like, I'm good here. I'm good here. I could take more, but like, this is fine. This is enough. My love, that's not why you came here. That's not why you came here at all. And at some point, you're gonna feel the nudge inside of you. And it starts as a subtle invitation and a tapping. And I feel like most of us live in extremes, and it's either you're super misaligned from your just the full version of who you're created to be, or you're running towards it. I think it was like a neutral space, it would be fine. But most of us in this world today, the way everything is so amplified, we're either full force going towards our greatest awakening, or we're stuck in stagnancy and just allowing this world to take everything from us, and we're not taking agency over the fact that we create our own reality, and we're settling there. It's not about settling in how big your life is. It's about settling in a lack of intentionally creating your life. You can create, if you want a simple life, beautiful. If you don't desire anything bigger than whatever it is, and that brings your heart alive, exactly that. But don't let your life happen to you on accident. And don't let the world tell you who you are and how your life is going to go. You have to fight. You have to fight for your liberation and your freedom and your sovereignty. You have to fight for your heart to be able to exist as fully alive. And it's worth it. It's absolutely worth the fight. And more than likely, if you're here, especially if you're still here now, you've felt that call for a long time. Good for you. Good for you, because you haven't shut it out completely. And you see yourself as somebody worth putting in the work and the effort that it takes to free yourself into the full version of who you were created to be, and living with your heart fully alive, whatever that looks like for you. That version of you, not only does it already exist, it's the only true version and identity of who you actually are. And everything else, all these other worldly descriptions and like whatever people accomplishments or accolades or empires or money or status or things that people amass here in this life that, by the way, stay here in this life on this planet, you cannot take with you. They're just distractions. They're just details. What is your heart telling you? What were you here to experience? Because, as it turns out, those experiences, those memories, I believe, are the only thing that you can really take with you. What kind of impact did you have on people? How did you show up in love? How did you interacting with somebody matter? How did you living your life fully alive expose other people to the possibility of that and awaken a spark in them to say, oh shit, we can do that? We can do that? What? Yeah. You can do it, and it's your birthright. And I would say the only thing that you should feel pressured or obligated to do is to live fully as yourself, as who you were created to be. And I think that's the biggest way that we honor God, that we honor our Creator. That's your legacy.